Have you ever felt a voice inside your head tearing you down, whispering that you're not enough, that you'll never be enough? That voice doesn't just pass by, it lingers, shadows every decision, every moment, every breath. It's there when you wake, it's there when you sleep, it's there when you dare to dream. It sneaks in at the quietest moments, when no one else is around, and makes you question your worth. You try to ignore it, you try to push it away. But the harder you resist, the louder it screams, until every choice feels tainted, every opportunity feels risky, and every joy feels hollow. You've lived with it for so long that you've started to believe it is you, but it isn't. It's a voice, not your truth. And if you stay here, letting it run unchecked, it will steal more than your confidence. It will steal your life. You deserve a life where this voice no longer holds the power to define you. You deserve mornings that arrive without that pit of dread in your stomach. Nights that leave you rested instead of replaying every mistake, every regret. You deserve to make decisions from clarity, not fear. And the truth is, freedom isn't somewhere far away, hidden behind years of self-doubt or impossible achievement. Freedom begins the moment you decide this voice no longer controls you. You've carried it for years, maybe decades, thinking it's protecting you, guiding you, keeping you safe. But what safety is there in constant criticism? What guidance lies in endless judgment? The inner critic promises protection, but it delivers only limitation. It feeds on your hesitation, your guilt, your shame, and the longer you let it dictate your choices, the smaller your world becomes. The voice is clever. It doesn't scream all at once. It starts softly, almost unnoticed. A flicker of doubt, a subtle warning. Are you sure you can do this? It whispers when you try to speak up. It nudges when you aim high. It sows seeds of worry in the fertile soil of your mind, growing into forests of anxiety before you even realize what has taken root. And yet this same voice can be confronted, observed, and transformed. It can be understood, not feared. You don't have to wrestle it into silence with force or willpower. You can outmaneuver it with awareness, with attention, with precision. The key is recognizing it for what it is. A habit of thought, a pattern learned and repeated over years, nothing more. This is where most people stumble. They believe the critic is permanent, that it is inseparable from who they are. They try to drown it with distractions, with busyness, with self-help slogans, but the voice adapts, shifts, and returns, stronger and sharper than before. That's because they've misunderstood it. The critic thrives on resistance, on fighting it head-on. The moment you stop treating it like an enemy to vanquish, the moment you start observing it as an object, a passing cloud, it loses its grip. Its power diminishes the instant you refuse to feed it with your attention. You learn to see it without judgment, to hear it without panic, and to feel it without reacting. And in that space, something remarkable happens. You realize that all those years of struggle, of self-doubt, of hesitation, were never a reflection of weakness. They were the echo of a voice that never deserved to dictate your life. Imagine for a moment waking up and not hearing that voice at all, or hearing it and noticing it drift past like wind through leaves, irrelevant to the choices you make. Imagine moving through your day free from its invisible chains, making decisions from clarity, confidence, and calm. That life isn't fantasy. It's not something reserved for the lucky or the enlightened. It is available to anyone willing to see the voice for what it is, to step into a practice of awareness and gentle defiance. It requires rage, but not the kind that burns you out, not the kind that battles the voice in epic, exhausting struggle. It requires quiet vigilance, relentless observation, and an unshakable recognition this voice is not me, and it never will be. And when that moment comes, when the critic no longer steals your attention, your energy, your confidence, you feel it like air filling your lungs after being underwater for too long. There is space, there is clarity, there is possibility. And the first taste of that freedom is intoxicating, a glimpse of the life that has always been waiting for you on the other side of fear. Stick with this, pay attention, watch the patterns, question the whispers, and slowly, with consistency and clarity, that voice that once controlled you will fade into irrelevance. It will be there faintly, sometimes like an old echo, but it will no longer own you. For the first time in your life, you can hear it and choose silence instead. Every thought the critic throws at you, as a rhythm, a pattern, a predictability. It thrives in repetition, in the moments you stop paying attention, in the silence you mistake for peace. But what if you could see it coming? What if every whisper of doubt, every shadow of fear, every pang of guilt could be noticed before it sank its teeth in? When you learn to watch the patterns, you gain the first real power over them. Not by force, not by denying them, but by seeing them clearly, naming them, and refusing to react. The critic cannot control what it cannot consume. Every time you observe without succumbing, you shrink its territory. Every moment you refuse its commands, you expand yours, the voice that once roared. In your mind now becomes a murmur. Its grip loosens, and a new clarity begins to emerge. Your attention is your weapon. Where you place it, what you allow into your mind determines who you become. The critic has spent years hijacking it, twisting every achievement into a flaw, every attempt into proof of failure. It has trained you to doubt yourself, to question your worth, to stay small and safe. But safety is an illusion, a cage dressed as protection. Real growth, real life, lives outside that cage. Every choice you make to engage with your true voice, to notice without reacting, is a key turning in the lock of that prison. It is not easy. It asks for vigilance, for honesty, for the courage to sit with discomfort. The critic will scream, it will push, it will try to convince you that this resistance is pointless. But the fact that it fights means you are making progress. The stronger the battle, the greater the breakthrough. You must act like a sentry for your own mind, observing the chatter without surrendering to it. Each time you hear the doubt, the judgment, the fear, you pause, you breathe, you remind yourself this is not truth, it is habit, it is noise. And you choose whether it has power. The world you want, the confidence you crave, the freedom you seek, all exist on the other side of this constant observation. You are forging a space where creativity, clarity, and courage can grow. Every time the critic speaks, you respond with attention, with calm, with recognition of its nature, and slowly, almost imperceptibly, the tide begins to turn. You start living in your own rhythm, not the rhythm of the voice that has haunted you for years. This is not a slow process. Every moment counts. Every thought that goes unchecked is another chain around your potential. Every time you ignore the patterns, the voice grows bolder. But every moment of awareness, every conscious refusal to follow its commands is a crack in its armor. You are not just surviving these thoughts. You are dismantling them, piece by piece, until the critic no longer sets the agenda for your life. The stakes are real. Your confidence, your joy, your future, they hang in the balance. You cannot afford to drift, to procrastinate, to assume that change will come on its own. It will not. Freedom demands attentio. It demands presence. It demands relentless practice until the voice loses its sharpness, until the whisper no longer triggers fear, until the space you create is stronger than the noise that once consumed you. Imagine your days free from self-sabotage, your mind no longer a battlefield but a place of clarity, choice, and calm. Imagine making decisions with confidence, speaking without hesitation, moving forward without fear of judgment from others or yourself. That life is within reach, but only if you commit, only if you remain vigilant, only if you refuse to hand the reins back to a voice that has no right to drive. The critic is not omnipotent, it is not permanent. Its power exists only as long as you feed it with fear, with attention, with belief. Pull your attention away, notice without reacting, observe without surrender, and step into a life where your choices, your actions, your voice, not the critic, define the path forward. The moment you begin this practice, everything changes. Every whisper of doubt becomes less important, every shadow of fear less threatening, every step you take more certain. The voice that once ruled you now becomes a ghost, powerless, distant, irrelevant. You are not only free, you are unstoppable. Every second you give to the critic is a second lost to your potential. It waits for the cracks in your focus, for the moments when you are tired, distracted, or uncertain. It thrives in hesitation, in indecision, and self-doubt. But here is the truth that changes everything. Hesitation is not your destiny. Indecision is not your nature. Self-doubt is not your identity. They are symptoms of listening to a voice that was never meant to guide you. And the moment you realize this, the moment you stop treating it as a judge and start treating it as a passing thought, everything shifts. The chains that once held you begin to weaken. The fog lifts. And suddenly, you see the life that was always possible, waiting quietly beyond the whispers of fear. You cannot wait for the perfect time to act. Every delay feeds the critic, gives it more fuel, more power, more reasons to return. The longer you postpone, the louder it becomes, until it feels impossible to move at all. Action is not optional. It is the only antidote. You must decide to respond differently, to choose awareness over reaction, clarity over confusion, courage over fear. Every moment you practice this, you are building a new foundation for your mind, a foundation that cannot be shaken by doubt, by judgment, by the endless chatter of a voice that has no authority over your life. You are constructing a fortress of attention, vigilance, and self-trust. The critic may pound at the walls, but the walls are stronger than ever because they are built from conscious choice, not fear. This is not about silencing the critic in a single moment, in a single day. It is about persistent mastery, about steady observation, and refusal to surrender. Each whisper you hear is a test. ESC. Surge of doubt is an invitation to step into awareness. And each time you succeed, you grow stronger, more present, more capable of living without chains. There is no substitute for this practice. No quick fix, no temporary distraction, no empty affirmation can replace it. You must confront it continuously, deliberately, relentlessly. Your mind is the battlefield, your attention is a weapon, and the prize is the life that the critic tried to steal from you. Feel the weight of this. The critic does not rest, and neither can you if you are determined to claim freedom. Every time it resurfaces, meet it with the same calm vigilance, the same unshakable presence. Let it speak, let it try, let it falter in the face of your attention. And as it falters, as its influence wanes, you begin to move forward with a clarity and confidence that feels astonishing because it has been absent for so long. You start to realize that nothing in your life needs to be limited by fear. Opportunities appear, not because the critic is silent, but because you are louder. Louder with awareness, with purpose, with self-trust. Do not underestimate the power of repeated conscious attention. Every moment you resist the pull of doubt, every time you refuse to feed the voice of belief, you are reclaiming territory that was stolen long ago. Your mind begins to feel like a space you own again, a space where creativity, ambition, and joy can thrive. And the stakes are high. The freedom you are creating is not a luxury, it is essential. Without it, the critic regains control. With it, your life transforms. Every choice becomes a declaration of independence, every decision a step toward the person you were always capable of becoming. Now feel the urgency in this. Every second wasted, every thought surrendered is a victory for the critic. Every breath taken with awareness, every moment lived intentionally is a victory for you. You are not fighting a battle with swords or shields. You are reclaiming the very essence of your mind. Each victory compounds, each act of awareness strengthens the next, until the voice that once seemed unstoppable becomes weak, distant, irrelevant. And when you reach that place, when the critic no longer sets the rules, no longer dictates your path, no longer steals your energy, you will feel a power unlike anything you have known, a power that belongs entirely to you. You are awake, aware, and unstoppable. Nothing can take that from you. Nothing. There is a power in the mind that far exceeds anything the critic can conjure. It is not loud. It does not shout. It does not demand attention. It simply exists, steady, unwavering, waiting for you to claim it. Every thought you allow, every word you believe, every fear you challenge builds this power. It grows in silence, in observation, in the moments when you refuse to react, when you see the voice for what it is, a shadow, a ghost, a repetition with no truth. And the moment you recognize this, the rules of the GAME change. You stop playing by the critic's agenda. You begin moving with clarity, with intention, with a force that cannot be contained. Every decision you make becomes aligned with your purpose, not with the fear that once dictated your actions. The critic will resist. It will escalate. It will try to convince you that you are failing by noticing it, by stepping into awareness. That is its nature. It fights to survive, to reclaim control. But you have discovered its weakness. Attention, recognition, observation. Every time you choose to witness without reacting, you cut off its influence. Every moment you act in spite of it, you claim territory for your own mind. It cannot control what you refuse to hand over. The more present you become, the more real your life feels, and the more powerless the critic becomes. There is urgency here because every second spent under its sway is a second stolen from your potential, your creativity, your confidence. You cannot waste another moment ending that the voice does not exist. You must confront it with clarity, with precision, with an unshakable commitment to freedom. Do not mistake this for a passive practice. It demands courage. It demands relentless focus. Each time the voice arises, it is a test, a challenge to prove to yourself that you are no longer a hostage. And every time you respond with awareness instead of surrender, you win. These wins are small, almost invisible at first, but they compound. One moment of refusal becomes two becomes 10 becomes hundreds. And suddenly, the critic is no longer a force that dictates your life. It is background noise, a faint echo in a space that you now command. The clarity that comes with this presence is intoxicating. You see possibilities that were invisible before, opportunities that were clouded by doubt. Your mind feels alive, expansive, unshackled. Every choice is infused with purpose. Every action is a statement of autonomy. You must understand the stakes. Free. Freedom is not optional. Confidence is not negotiable. Joy is not a luxury. The voice has stolen enough. Every day you allow it to dictate your thoughts, your actions, your self-worth, it takes a piece of your life that cannot be reclaimed. The moment you accept that reality, you feel the urgency, the pressure, the need to act. And acting is simple. Observe, notice, question, refuse. Each step forward weakens the critic, strengthens your presence, and builds a momentum that cannot be stopped. Resistance is temporary. Mastery is permanent. The voice that once seemed insurmountable now trembles in the face of your unwavering attention. Imagine your mind as a field. For years, the critic planted weeds, twisted roots through every opportunity, every aspiration, every flicker of confidence. But now, with awareness, with vigilance, with relentless practice, you are clearing that field. Every thought observed and released is a weed pulled. Every moment of clarity is fertile soil returned. And as the weeds disappear, space emerges. Space for creativity, space for courage, space for your authentic voice. You begin to act freely, speak freely, think freely. Each choice reinforces the truth that the critic no longer defines your boundaries. You are limitless. You are awake. You are present. And every day you continue this practice, the freedom grows, expanding into every corner of your life. This is not a theory. This is not wishful thinking. This is the only path to the life you have been longing for. The critic is clever, persistent, ruthless, but it is powerless against consistency, awareness, and the refusal to surrender. Every moment you observe instead of reacting, every second you reclaim, every choice you make aligned with your truth strengthens the fortress around your mind. And when that fortress stands unshaken, when the critic is no longer able to influence a single thought, a single decision, a single moment, you experience a liberation that is absolute. You are no longer a prisoner. You are unstoppable. You are finally free. You have felt the weight of the critic for years, carrying it like a shadow that follows your every step. It has whispered in moments of hesitation, laughed at your mistakes, and made every decision feel risky. But now you see it for what it is, a voice with no authority, a habit of thought that has outstayed its welcome. The moment you step fully into awareness, the critic's hold begins to crumble. You realize that the power it had over you was never real. It only existed because you allowed it. And now, for the first time, you are choosing differently. You are claiming every moment, every choice, every breath as your own. This is where your true strength begins. The critic will try to resist. It will return louder, sharper, more insistent. It will attempt to convince you that the effort is futile, that change is impossible, that your mind will always be its battlefield. But each time it rises, you respond with observation eye, instead of surrender. You refuse to fight it on its terms. You watch it, you acknowledge it, you let it pass. And each time you do this, your mind expands, your clarity grows, and the critic loses another piece of its power. The stakes are immense. Every thought you reclaim, every pattern you disrupt, every habit you shift is a victory for your life, your freedom, your potential. You cannot afford to falter. You cannot afford distraction. Your future depends on the attention you give now. Do not underestimate the urgency of this moment. The critic is relentless, adaptive, patient. It waits for the smallest lapse, the quietest moment of doubt. It seeks to reclaim its influence over your mind, your choices, your confidence. But awareness is stronger than it knows. Each active observation, each conscious refusal to feed the voice is a strike that weakens it. You are building a fortress within your mind, not with walls of resistance, but with presence, attention, and unwavering commitment. Every second spent practicing this presence compounds. Every repeated victory becomes a foundation that the critic cannot erode. This is the work that leads to lasting freedom. Feel the weight of what is possible. Every choice, every moment, every second where you step into awareness instead of reaction shapes the life you are creating. You are reclaiming your mind, your energy, your confidence, your power. Imagine moving through your days no longer held hostage by doubt, no longer sabotaged by fear, no longer constrained by a voice that was never yours to begin with. Imagine the clarity in your decisions, the calm in your actions, the joy that no longer feels fragile. This is not a distant dream. This is the reality that unfolds when you commit fully to awareness, to presence, to refusing the critic its control. The critic is clever, but it is not eternal. It exists because you have given it space. Take that space back. Observe without judgment. Respond without fear. Step forward with intention. Each act compounds. Each moment of conscious choice reinforces your freedom until the critic is no longer a force in your life. It becomes a faint echo, irrelevant to the path you now walk. The life that was once clouded by hesitation and doubt opens before you with possibility, clarity, and power. Every step forward is a statement. I am not defined by fear. I am not limited by judgment. I am the architect of my mind, the owner of my choices, the creator of my life. There is no room for doubt now. You must act with vigilance, with precision, with relentless awareness. Each time the critic whispers, you listen, you acknowledge, and you release. Each moment of observation is a victory. Each victory compounds. And as these victories accumulate, the voice that once controlled you fades, powerless against your presence. You feel it lose its strength, its relevance, its command over your reality. And with that loss comes the liberation you have been seeking. You move freely, speak clearly, act decisively, and live fully. Nothing can reclaim the power you have taken. You are awake. You are unstoppable. You are finally completely free. Freedom is not a gift. It is claimed. It is fought for in silence, in attention, in moments that seem small but carry the weight of your life. Every time the critic rises, you must meet it with presence, not panic. Every whisper of doubt is an invitation to act, to observe, to reclaim your authority over your own mind. It will not stop. It will test you endlessly. It will try to convince you that the effort is futile, that change is impossible, that your mind will always belong to it. But it is lying. Its power exists only because you allowed it. And now, every moment you refuse, every thought you watch and release chips away at the foundation it built over years. You are dismantling its control piece by piece, thought by thought, until it no longer commands your attention. Do not wait for the perfect moment. Do not wait until you feel ready. That moment will never come. Readiness is an illusion. Action is what creates readiness. The life you desire, the clarity you crave, the power why. All seek. All of it is waiting on the other side of your attention. Each time you practice observing without reacting, you expand your control. You are reclaiming the mental space the critic once occupied. You are learning that awareness is stronger than fear, presence is stronger than judgment, and intentionality is stronger than doubt. The voice that once seemed unstoppable becomes weak, distant, irrelevant. Every second of vigilance compounds. Every act of conscious choice reinforces your freedom. This is no longer theory. This is reality, and you are shaping it with every thought you choose to own. The stakes are high. Every moment you allow hesitation, self-doubt, or fear to dominate is a moment the critic wins. Every choice surrendered is a victory for it. But every second you observe, every instant you refuse to react, every conscious breath taken in awareness is a strike against it. You are building a fortress in your mind, not with walls of resistance, but with presence, clarity, and unshakable focus. Each victory strengthens the next. Each act of awareness compounds until the critic is no longer able to influence a single choice, a single thought, a single action. The space you create becomes a sanctuary for courage, creativity, and authentic expression. The life that was once clouded with fear and hesitation begins to unfold in sharp, clear strokes. Imagine moving through your day without hesitation, without fear, without the constant weight of judgment. Every step feels deliberate. Every word feels true. Every action aligns with your deepest intentions. This is not a dream. This is the result of relentless attention, of refusing to surrender even once, of choosing awareness over reaction, clarity over confusion, courage over fear. The critic may rise again, but its power is diminished, fragmented, irrelevant. It no longer dictates your choices. It no longer shapes your path. You are awake. You are present. You are alive in a way you have never known. Doing this OT underestimate the urgency. Each moment matters. Each thought observed is a victory. Each act of presence is a reclaiming of your mind. You are not passive in this process. You are active, relentless, vigilant. The voice that haunted you for years loses strength with every second you refuse to feed it. Its whispers fade. Its judgment weakens. Its influence vanishes. And in that vanishing, you experience liberation, complete, unshakable, undeniable. You feel it in your chest, in your mind, in every cell of your body. You are finally free from the chains of doubt, fear, and criticism. You are unstoppable. You are alive. You are the master of your own mind, the architect of your own life, and nothing can take that from you. The critic may exist, but it no longer matters. You decide what matters. You decide what to hear. You decide how to move. You decide who you are. Every thought, every breath, every choice belongs to you. The voice that once ruled you now drifts like a ghost in a field. You own, you are awake. You are unstoppable. You are finally completely free. Every moment you hesitate, the critic whispers, waiting for you to falter. It watches for weakness, for distraction, for the tiniest lapse that gives it power. But you are no longer that person. You have seen the pattern. You have felt the chains loosen. You have touched the freedom that exists beyond its grasp. Every thought you observe without surrendering, every fear you notice without succumbing, is a declaration: this voice does not control me. Its power is borrowed, dependent on your attention, and the moment you stop lending it that power, you take back what has been stolen for years, decades, a lifetime. You begin to feel it immediately, the weight lifting, the space opening, the possibilities stretching beyond the boundaries the critic once enforced. Do not mistake the calm for weakness. This is the strength of mastery. Every whisper that once froze you, every judgment that once held you back is no. W met with clarity, attention, and control. The critic has no place in a mind that observes. It can try, it can scream, it can claw for influence, but your awareness is stronger. Every single second you practice this, every act of observation, every refusal to react, is a strike that builds momentum. The more you engage in this way, the more your life aligns with your truth rather than the illusions of fear and self-doubt. There is no pause, no time to drift, no luxury in hesitation. The stakes could not be higher. Your confidence, your freedom, your ability to live fully depend on your relentless focus, your uncompromising presence. The critic thrives on invisibility. It works best when you ignore it, when you allow the whispers to slip past unnoticed. But every moment you witness it, name it, release it, you dismantle its power. Each act of attention strengthens the new patterns of your mind. Clarity, courage, presence. This is not a passive process. It demands vigilance. It demands action. It demands that you refuse to hand over control, even for a second. And with each refusal, the life that was once blocked by fear begins to emerge, vivid and real. You see opportunities that were invisible before. You make decisions with certainty, speak with confidence, move with purpose. The critic is no longer a master, it is a faint echo, powerless, irrelevant. Feel the urgency of this. Every thought you surrender, every second you ignore, every moment you drift back into old patterns is a victory for the voice that has haunted you for so long. You cannot afford complacency. You cannot wait for permission or readiness. Every instant is a test. In every instant you choose, awareness is a win that compounds, strengthens, multiplies. Your mind, once a battlefield, is becoming a sanctuary, a place where courage grows, where clarity reigns, where freedom becomes your natural state. The critic will fight. It will push. It will attempt to convince you that mastery is impossible, that change is unattainable, that you are weak. But it is lying. Every lie it tells is met with your vigilance, your presence, your refusal to surrender. And in this refusal, the chains break. Imagine moving through your life fully unshackled. Every step deliberate, every word true, every choice aligned with your purpose. Fear no longer dictates your path. Doubt no longer defines your limits. Judgment no longer holds sway over your actions. The voice that once controlled you now drifts in the background, irrelevant, powerless, distant. Your mind is your own. Your energy belongs to you. Your life is no longer shaped by whispers of insecurity, but by clarity, intention, and unstoppable will. Each day of practice compounds this reality. Each moment of awareness expands your freedom. The critic may exist, but it cannot touch you. It cannot dictate your choices. It cannot steal your power. You are awake, you are strong, you are free. And in that freedom, you discover the limitless possibilities that have been waiting for you all along. This is your moment. Every second counts. Every thought observed without surrender is a victory. Every act of presence compounds your strength. You are no longer a prisoner. You are the master. You are the architect of your mind. You are unstoppable. The critic is powerless. You are awake. You are alive. You are finally completely free. You have felt the critic lurking in the corners of your mind for years, whispering that you are not enough, that every choice is wrong, that every step forward is destined to fail. It has made you hesitate, second guess, shrink. But now, you are seeing it clearly. You are no longer fooled by its persistence. Every moment of awareness chips away at its authority. Every act of observing without reacting strengthens your control. The voice that once dominated your mind is losing its grip, fading into irrelevance, powerless against the presence you are cultivating. You begin to understand that the life you desire is not on the other side of silence or luck. It is on the other side of attention, of vigilance, of conscious choice. Do not underestimate the challenge ahead. The critic will fight to survive. It will escalate its whispers, sharpen its judgments, invade moments of fatigue and distraction. It thrives on hesitation, on inaction, on the tiniest lapse. Every second you drift, every thought you surrender, it grows stronger, more insistent, more convincing. But every second you resist, every moment you notice without fear, every act of deliberate presence, you reclaim power that was once stolen. Your mind, once a battlefield, is transforming into a fortress. A fortress built not of force, but of awareness, clarity, and intention. Each act of attention reinforces it. Each victory compounds. Each moment of practice strengthens your freedom. You cannot pause. You cannot wait. Readiness is a myth. Waiting is a trap. Every instant is a test. Every thought is an opportunity. The critic will try. Why? To convince you that mastery is impossible, that change is futile, that your mind is permanently its domain. But its lies are only as strong as the attention you give them. Observe without reacting. Notice without surrendering. Question without fear. Step into action with clarity. Every choice aligned with your truth, every decision made in presence, is a victory the critic cannot touch. Each moment you practice this, the path forward becomes clearer, the chains loosen, and the voice loses ground. Feel the urgency. Your life, your potential, your confidence, your joy, they are all in the balance. Every thought allowed to pass unchecked, every moment surrendered to fear, every hesitation given weight, strengthens the critic. Every second you observe, every breath taken with awareness, every refusal to react, diminishes it. The life you have longed for, the freedom you crave, the power you seek, they exist in the space you are creating right now. The critic may resist, it may scream, it may attempt to reclaim control, but it cannot win where awareness rules. It cannot hold sway over a mind that refuses to surrender. Imagine moving through your days with this clarity. Every decision precise, every action deliberate, every word true. The critic, once a constant presence, is now a distant echo, powerless to dictate your path. Fear no longer limits you. Doubt no longer governs your choices. Judgment no longer shapes your reality. Your mind belongs to you. Your energy belongs to you. Your life belongs to you. Each moment of observation compounds, each victory reinforces the next, and slowly, relentlessly, the voice that once haunted you loses its place entirely. You are alive in a way you have never known. This is not a theoretical promise. It is a reality you build through consistent practice, vigilance, and unshakable commitment to presence. Each whisper observed without surrender, each thought noticed and released, each moment acted upon deliberately, strengthens your eye. Independence. The critic becomes irrelevant. Its power evaporates. You step forward into clarity, into courage, into freedom. You act decisively. You speak truthfully. You move powerfully. Your life unfolds with precision and intention. Nothing can reclaim the power you have taken. You are awake. You are unstoppable. You are finally completely free. You have felt the critic for as long as you can remember, whispering doubts, feeding fear, turning every choice into a question of worth. It has lingered in the background, growing stronger with every thought you surrendered, every hesitation you allowed. But now, you see it clearly. Its power exists only because you gave it attention. Every act of awareness, every moment of observation without reaction strips it of influence. The chains it wrapped around your mind begin to loosen. Every breath taken with presence, every thought noticed and released, builds a space where clarity, courage, and purpose can thrive. You are learning to step into that space fully, without compromise, without hesitation. The critic is relentless. It will rise with greater intensity. It will scream louder in moments of fatigue, twist doubt into panic, and try to convince you that mastery is impossible. This is its nature. But you are stronger than its lies. Every moment you observe without surrender, every second you refuse to react, is a strike that dismantles its authority. Awareness is your weapon. Presence is your shield. Intention is your power. Each act compounds. Each victory reinforces the next, until the voice that once ruled your mind is reduced to a faint echo, powerless, irrelevant, distant. The life you desire, the freedom you crave, the confidence and joy that have always been waiting for you begin to emerge in vivid, undeniable clarity. Do not wait. Readiness is a myth. Waiting is surrender. Every second lost is a second the critic uses to reclaim ground. You must act now. Observe, notice, refuse, step forward with unwavering focus. Each conscious choice, each deliberate act strengthens your hold over your own mind. You are no longer a hostage to fear. You are no longer a prisoner of judgment. Every moment of vigilance, every moment of attention is a victory that compounds, grows, and multiplies. The chains weaken, the path clears, the voice loses its grip. And with ever wise strike of awareness, the life you have longed for unfolds more fully, more vividly, more powerfully. Feel the stakes. Your confidence, your freedom, your energy, your very potential, they are all on the line. Every hesitation, every thought surrendered, every moment drifted is a victory for the critic. Every breath observed, every whisper of doubt acknowledged and released. Every act of presence is a victory for you. Your mind transforms from battlefield to sanctuary. Clarity grows. Courage expands. Freedom becomes your natural state. The critic will resist, it will fight, it will attempt to convince you that change is impossible. But it cannot win against consistent attention, relentless observation, and unwavering commitment to presence. Every act of refusal chips away at its foundation. Every second of focus reinforces yours. Imagine moving through your life completely unshackled, each step deliberate, every word aligned with truth, every action infused with purpose. Fear no longer dictates your choices. Doubt no longer limits your possibilities. Judgment no longer confines your path. The voice that haunted you fades into irrelevance. Your mind belongs to you. Your energy belongs to you. Your life belongs to you. Each second of awareness compounds, each victory strengthens the next. And slowly, with relentless persistence, the critic loses every ounce of power it once held. You are fully alive, fully awake, and fully free. This is not theory. It is reality forged through vigilance, through practice, through unwavering attention to your own mind. Each whisper noticed, each moment observed, each choice made deliberately dismantles the voice that has haunted you. The critic becomes irrelevant, its power gone. You move forward with clarity, with confidence, with unstoppable momentum. Your life unfolds in alignment with your purpose. Your actions are decisive. Your voice is true. Your path is clear. You are awake. You are unstoppable. You are finally completely free. The critic has lived in your mind for years, whispering that you are never enough, that every step forward is a mistake, that every dream is too dangerous to pursue. It has thrived on your hesitation, your doubt, your fear, turning small uncertainties into chains that bound you. But now you are seeing it for what it is, a voice with no authority, a habit of thought that has been feeding on your attention. Every moment you observe it without reacting, every second you notice without surrendering, weakens it. Every conscious breath, every deliberate choice expands the space in your mind where freedom can grow. You are reclaiming your territory thought by thought, moment by moment, until the critic is no longer the master of your reality. This is not passive. Awareness is action. Observation is resistance. Each time the critic rises, you must meet it with presence, not panic, with attention, not avoidance. Its power exists only as long as you feed it. Every time you refuse, every TI. You notice and release, you claim back the strength, clarity, and focus that were once stolen. The stakes are immense. Your confidence, your potential, your ability to live fully, all depend on your vigilance. The critic will fight harder as you grow stronger. It will scream louder, distort reality, and try to convince you that surrender is safer. But every second you maintain awareness is a victory that compounds, a crack in its armor, a step closer to mastery. You cannot wait for readiness. Waiting is surrender. Every second delayed is another opportunity for the voice to reclaim ground. Action is the only antidote. Observe, notice, refuse, act with intention. Each conscious choice strengthens your control, reinforces your freedom, and diminishes the critic's influence. Your mind, once a battlefield, is transforming into a sanctuary. Clarity replaces chaos. Courage replaces fear. Freedom replaces limitation. Each victory builds momentum, and that momentum becomes unstoppable car. Ying you further into a life defined by your choices, not by doubt. The critic thrives in invisibility, in the moments when you forget to notice, when attention drifts. But every moment you witness it, every thought observed without reaction dismantles its power. Awareness becomes your fortress. Presence becomes your shield. Intentional action becomes your weapon. The more consistent your practice, the faster the voice fades, until it is no longer a force in your life. You begin to see opportunities that were invisible, possibilities that were obscured by doubt, paths forward that were blocked by fear. You begin to act with clarity, speak with confidence, and move with purpose. The voice that once ruled you is now a distant echo, irrelevant, powerless. Imagine the life this creates. Every decision made with precision, every step taken with confidence, every word spoken with truth. Fear no longer limits you. Doubt no longer defines you. Judgment no longer confines you. The critic is go. Nay, and your mind, your energy, your life belong to you. Each second of vigilance compounds, each act of awareness strengthens the next, until the voice that haunted you disappears entirely. You are fully present, fully alive, and fully free. This is reality forged through consistent practice, through unwavering attention, through refusal to surrender even once. Each thought observed without reaction, each moment of presence, each choice aligned with truth weakens the critic and strengthens you. Its whispers fade, its influence vanishes. Your mind is clear, your actions decisive, your life aligned. You move with unstoppable momentum, clarity, and courage. You are awake, you are powerful, you are free. And in this freedom, you find the limitless potential that has always been yours, waiting for you to claim it. The critic has been a constant companion, whispering fear, amplifying doubt, convincing you that hesitation is safety. It has turned every decision into a question, every step forward into a risk, every aspiration into a test of worthiness. But now, the rules are changing. Awareness is your power. Observation is your weapon. Every second you notice the voice without reacting, every thought you witness and release chips away at the authority it has long claimed. You begin to see the patterns clearly, understand its tactics, and recognize that its strength existed only because you gave it attention. With each act of presence, you reclaim the ground it stole, moment by moment, thought by thought, until the voice that once dominated you becomes faint, irrelevant, powerless. This is no passive exercise. Awareness requires vigilance, relentless focus, and unwavering commitment. The critic will not yield easily. It will rise louder, sharper, more insistent, especially when you feel tired, uncertain, or distracted. Every lapse is an opportunity for it to regain control, every hesitation a victory for doubt. But every moment you observe without surrender, every second you refuse to react, every choice you make in alignment with your true self, is a strike that weakens its hold. Your mind, once a battlefield, becomes a fortress. Your thoughts, once hijacked by fear, become instruments of clarity, courage, and freedom. Each act compounds. Each victory reinforces the next. Momentum builds. And with it comes unstoppable power. You cannot wait for perfect timing. Readiness is an illusion. Waiting is surrender. Every second spent hesitating is a second ceded to the critic. Action is the only antidote. Observe, notice, refuse. Step forward deliberately with attention, with purpose, with unshakable resolve. Each conscious choice strengthens your command over your mind. Every act of presence diminishes fear, doubt, and judgment. Your confidence grows, your clarity expands, your cool rage solidifies. The critic may scream, may push, may attempt to convince you that resistance is futile, that mastery is impossible, that your mind is permanently its domain. But it cannot win against your vigilance, your attention, your deliberate action. Each refusal compounds, each victory multiplies. Each act builds a life no longer constrained by fear. The stakes are real. Every thought surrendered, every hesitation indulged, every second drifted is a victory for the voice that has haunted you. Every moment of observation, every breath taken with presence, every deliberate act is a victory for you. You are reclaiming your mind. You are reclaiming your life. You are building a space where clarity, courage, and freedom reign. The critic will resist. It will fight. It will attempt to convince you that change is impossible, but it is powerless against relentless attention, unwavering presence, and the refusal to surrender. Each act of vigilance chips away at its foundation. Each moment of clarity strengthens yours. Your mind becomes a sanctuary. Your life, a declaration of autonomy. Imagine moving through your days fully unshackled. Every step deliberate, every word true, every action aligned with purpose. Fear no longer dictates your choices. Doubt no longer limits your possibilities. Judgment no longer shapes your path. The critic fades into irrelevance, powerless, distant, irrelevant. Your mind is yours, your energy is yours, your life is yours. Each act of awareness compounds, each victory strengthens the next, until the voice that haunted you is gone entirely. You are fully present, fully alive, fully free. This is not theory. It is forged through practice, vigilance, and refusal to surrender. Each thought observed without reaction, each moment held in presence, each choice made deliberately, dismantles the voice that has haunted you. Its whispers fade. Its influence vanishes. You move forward with clarity, with purpose, with unstoppable momentum. Your life unfolds in alignment with your truth. You act decisively. You speak authentically. You move powerfully. You are awake. You are unstoppable. You are finally completely free. The critic has lived in your mind for years, shaping every decision, amplifying every fear, convincing you that hesitation is safety and doubt is truth. It has made you shrink, made you question yourself, made you believe that every step forward is a risk too great to take. But now you are seeing it for what it is, a shadow, a habit, a voice that has no authority over your life. Its strength has always been borrowed from your attention. And the moment you stop lending it that power, everything changes. Every thought you observe without reacting, every breath you take with awareness, every choice you make deliberately chips away at the chains it wrapped around you.